How's it going, HuntStand? I'm back down here on that farm where in the last video we talked about getting trail cameras set up to find turkeys on a new piece of property. And those cameras did exactly what I wanted them to do. We found some birds on this place. They are definitely roosting back in here pretty close. I get pictures of them in the mornings and in the evenings going to and from right here on both of these cameras. So we're down here, we're trying to do the next step in this process, and that is get a muddy ground blind put up right here in this cove area that I talked about, so I can hopefully get down here and do some bow hunting with my Matthews bow. While I was down here, I wanted to take a minute, guys, and just go through a couple things that I think sometimes are overlooked when putting a ground blind up for turkey hunting. And not only turkey hunting, but even deer hunting or pretty much anything you're hunting with a ground blind. So let's get this thing over here, get it out of the bag, get it popped up, and we'll walk through these couple things that I think can be really important for you to have success when ground blind hunting. All right, guys, this is where I'm going to get this ground blind set up. Got a perfect kind of little bowl right in here. Got some good cover. Should be a fantastic spot to get a blind. So the first thing that I kind of want to talk to you guys about is what direction to face your ground blind. I think that is something that people don't think about a lot of times. And obviously the inside of these blinds is black, which is a good thing. That helps hide you, especially if you wear darker clothing or even black clothing in this blind. You're really gonna hide in the shadows, which is exactly what you want. But one thing that can really mess that up is if the sun is shining directly into that blind. This right here, I think is gonna be a great location for morning and evening. A lot of times you might need to put up two different ground blinds, one for the morning, one for the evening. And that is because you will want the sun at your back in the morning, so you're going to want to be facing west. And then in the evening, you're going to want to be facing east, so when the sun is setting behind you, that sun isn't directly in your blind. But in this situation, I'm going to face this blind pretty much directly north. And what that is going to do for me is give me the ability to hunt this one blind in the morning and the evening. Because as you guys know, when the sun comes up over here in the east, it kind of stays high and to the south and then goes down in the west. So if I face this blind north, I shouldn't ever have direct sunlight in the windows of this blind. So that's one tip there. If you guys, maybe for wind directions, for deer hunting or something like that, obviously, like I said, you might need two blinds. For turkey hunting here, if you can find that perfect location in an area that's good in the mornings and the evenings, if you can face that blind directly north, you shouldn't have much problem with getting that sunshine directly in the windows of your blind. Let's get this thing popped up here, get it in this location, check out this new muddy blind, see how it is. All right, HuntStand, we've got this muddy blind up, liking it so far. I'm inside here getting this thing staked down. You want to definitely make sure you get everything staked down. This blind does come with stakes as well as the ropes for the hubs. One thing I was just thinking that I like to do, it can be tip number 2, I guess. If you have your blind popped up to where you maybe have a tree nearby or something to where you can tie this rope off to those trees, especially if you're in an area that's going to catch a lot of wind, definitely do that, because you're definitely not going to be pulling that tree out of the ground. That is for sure. To whereas if you catch a lot of wind, you could possibly pull these stakes out. But another thing that was going to be my tip number 2 is when you get your blind completely set up, guys, get inside and take the time to get rid of the debris in here. As you can see, I've got a stick in here. There's a lot of leaves, stuff that's going to make noise, things that might make your chairs uneven in here. So definitely take the time to get in here and get everything cleared up. Get the sticks out. What I like to do a lot of times is just take my boot and just kind of try to get it down to the bare dirt. You could bring a rake with you if you wanted, rake out everything out of the way. But this is just gonna help you to where it's not gonna be noisy in here when you get turkeys close or deer close or whatever. So you're not spooking that game away by making too much noise in your blind. But I'm gonna get this thing cleared out, get the stakes in the ground, and we should be ready to rock. All right, guys, we have this blind in place, staked down, and ready to hunt. I'm hoping to sneak in here later this afternoon and get one of my Nebraska tags filled with my Matthews bow. Let's talk about the last thing here that could be important for you to bag that gobbler this spring, and that is brushing in your ground blind. Is it important or is it not? Now, for me here in my area, I'm going to leave this blind exactly how it sits right now and not brush it in. In the 20-some years that I have been turkey hunting, at least here in my area, I have never one time had a ground blind spook a turkey while hunting. I have even put them in the middle of a wide open field or pasture and had turkeys walk right up to them. Now, if we would flip this and we would be deer hunting here, I would definitely be brushing this blind in to where even I couldn't see it very good. Deer just seem to be way more leery of ground blinds and things like this than turkeys. Now, that's my area. For you, it might be different. Maybe you're hunting birds that are more pressured. Maybe you're hunting public land or something like that, where turkeys could associate a ground blind like this with something bad being hunted. Now, in my area, like I said, that's not the case. But the good thing is these blinds do come with places to brush them in. We've got a place up here at the top and down here, kind of in the middle of the blind area. And you could put grass in there, sticks. One thing that I like to do if I'm gonna brush a blind in is try to find some cedar branches. If you have cedars in your area, you can stick in there. You can even just kind of pile branches up around the outside of it. Whatever works and whatever is gonna look best in your hunting situation. I've seen guys put these things in standing corn. You can stick corn stalks in them. Anything you need to do to make sure that this blind isn't going to spook the game that you are hunting, make sure you do it. But like I said, in my situation here, I'm gonna leave it exactly how it is and it shouldn't be a problem. So let's go through everything one more time, guys. Number one, make sure your blind, when you're setting it up, you're putting it in a position where the sun is never going to be shining directly into the windows while you're hunting. In my situation here, I have this one facing north, so I should be able to hunt it pretty much any time. The sun's going to come up over here, going to kind of stay back behind the blind, and then set back over here. If you're hunting in the morning only, you might want to face this thing directly to the west, so the sun's coming up back here. If you're hunting only in the evening, you might want to have it facing east so the sun is behind you while the sun is setting. Number two, clean out the inside of your blind on the ground, guys, if you can. You don't want sticks in there, maybe making your chairs uneven, or if you step on it, snapping it and letting the game that you're hunting hear that. You don't want leaves and grass in there for that same reason. Don't want to be making any extra noise. Last thing you want is to be repositioning your feet in there and having grass and leaves and sticks making noise and spook that gobbler or deer or whatever you're hunting away. And number three would be make sure you guys stake your blinds down good. I have all 4 hubs staked down and every single position around the base of this blind staked down as well. In the back here, I even have it tied to a couple trees. If you have some trees around your blind and you can tie these outside cables here to those trees, definitely do it, because in the high winds, those trees obviously most likely aren't going to get uprooted, to whereas a smaller stake could possibly pull out if you have really high winds. And then last, like we just talked about, guys, brushing in your blind. If you're in an area where you think you might need to, definitely take the extra time to brush it in. In my situation here, I don't think I'm going to need to. And if maybe you're a guy that's never used a ground blind before and you don't really know, maybe just take the extra time to brush it in. I think it could definitely be beneficial to you. And if you're deer hunting, definitely brush it in. I'm telling you, for whatever reason, deer are definitely more leery of blinds than turkeys are. So guys, I hope you have an awesome spring in the turkey woods. I hope the population of turkeys is great in your area this year. Hopefully this video was helpful for you if you're going to be hunting out of ground blinds. Hopefully it will help you be more successful. I'm gonna get my chairs in here. I'm gonna get out of here, go eat some lunch, grab my gear, and hopefully slip back in here later this afternoon and get a turkey shot right here out of this blind with my Matthews bow. God bless, guys. We'll see you in the next video.